Raido Henshin. Yeah, wait, hold on. This isn't Go Junior. This isn't Gov. No, we're kicking it old school this week because Kamen Rider Gov is taking a cookie break while Go Junior's taking an omelet break. It's F1. It's F1. Like, this is new to me because I've never seen this be the reason why superhero time goes on hiatus. Usually it's either Christmas or baseball. Occasionally the Olympics.
They're holding the F1 formula races in Japan.
Yeah, but this is the first time I've been watching Kamen Rider for almost 20 years, and not once have I seen it get canceled for a week over F1. Baseball? Maybe. An earthquake. May everyone be safe, but yeah, that happened. COVID? Absolutely. Did I mention baseball? Yes, baseball. Christmas? Definitely. Well, more like New Year, but still. But this is the first time I've ever seen it be over formula.
Well, I mean, the F1 is a worldwide event.
It is.
So, I mean, it's not too crazy, especially where they hold it. Normally, it's like, I don't know, in Europe or...
Yeah, usually like in Italy or Monaco, not like...
Yeah, but I guess because, Japan has just gone through so much, they're like, well, Japan is nice. Japan's an island. There's some very nice, very photogenic landscape and beautiful women that we could possibly... I'm like, yeah, you could. And also, also like the Olympics, apparently everyone is a big dork that they probably rallied like, let's do it in Japan. I want to go to Japan because apparently right now it's like the hot thing to go to Japan. Whereas before you'd be made fun of. Now it's like everyone to their great grandmother is now going because apparently, well, they just figured out that, I don't know, Japan is just cool.
Yeah. Japan has always been cool since the late 50s.
I mean, someone went into a Kuro Sushi and they saw the little robot rolling in the drinks, and it's like, yeah, that's normal in Japan. That's how and then they just decided to go. No joke. I had someone tell me that. That's why they're in Japan right now. Is to like see all the robots and everything. I'm like, you're gonna be shocked of what you find over there.
Yeah.
What? Yes, this is very weird for us to be here reviewing a show that we normally review on the weekends.
Yeah. Yep. Basically, place holding.
Yeah. Many other Toko channels and pages I know have been doing that. They've just been like, well, let's talk about some, holding polls about what should we talk about, what should we watch, and I'm seeing a lot of Gokaiger retrospectives being pulled up. I'm like, wow.
I mean, there's only so many retrospectives you could do on Gokaiger because it's like that show is like 15 years old. Even if you I'm pretty sure a lot of people were able to do it for the 10th anniversary, for the 15th anniversary. Wait, hold on. Yeah, the 10th anniversary and the 5th anniversary because I got my numbers wrong. Yeah, I mean, there was Gokaiger 10. We did a review of that, one of our most highly reviewed videos we've made, but still.
I don't know. I mean, I guess like I said before, like Gokaiger was just everyone's first Sentai. That was like the massive thing that got people into watching it or into watching Sentai was Gokaiger.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Going back on it, it's fun. It's a good show, but at the same time, I'm like,
Yeah, it's
I
good. It's really good.
I see myself going back and watching like Kaku Ranger, Shinkenger, uh, like Golanger. More. I've seen those shows more than I have Gokaiger. And
Yeah, I would say I've watched specific episodes of Gokaiger more, but not the whole season more. Like, I would say the episodes I probably watched the most were probably episodes 1, 5, 11, and 12, 15 and 16. Oh, definitely 14. Episode 21, because you know. And episode 28.
the thing is, I think with most people, when it comes down to like, oh, taking a break and remembering the old Sentai, is that I guess every anniversary series that has come after Gokaiger just has not hit its mark, or it's like it's not really an anniversary series. Like it is, but it isn't. And I'm like, no, I see it. I see what you mean, but at the same time, it's like, well, we can't have a team every 5 years turn into the past 5 that have come before it.
Yeah,
We can't have that. I mean, we can.
I find it. What I find interesting is the very next season to be the 5-year anniversary. No, not Gojuger. Juoger, is very similar vowel patterns. The thing about Juoger is that it wasn't even trying to be an anniversary season, but it was still a really good season. And they did have a team up with Gokaiger, and the team up episodes were good, but it wasn't going out of its way to be an anniversary season.
Any anniversary season has to do its own thing.
Yeah, like even Bokinger, it's like the outside of that one team up movie, Bokinger took no effort to be an anniversary season. It's still the best season in my opinion. And like, I mean, it still honored the anniversary by having the Super Sentai files at the end of every episode, which we did a parody of for Kamen Rider back in 2021. But it didn't go out of its way to make the plot an anniversary season. And I mean, they had homages, but they didn't go out of their way. Then Zenkaiger tried too hard to be an anniversary season, and let's be honest, it wasn't the best. And also, keep in mind, this is just coming out of COVID. So that's a thing. Ironically, Dog Brothers felt more like an anniversary season, and it wasn't even supposed to be one.
That's why I mostly say with any, like, whether it be a Rider, an Ultra, or a Sentai that are trying to be like, an homage or an anniversary season to past ones, I'm like, guys, we cannot keep repeating Decade, Gokaiger, or even like Ginga, Orb or Ginga. Take your pick there of like having like turning into the past heroes or like whatever. You gotta do something different. So in terms of like the taking a break, a lot of channels have been doing that, which I'm like, good for you. But at the same time, I'm like, well, why not talk about a show that doesn't get talked about a lot? Maybe some hidden gems, especially within the Kamen Rider and the Sentais and the Ultra series. Because I'm like, there are some really good series in there that don't get talked about enough, really and legitimately. Just like this review. Whoop. Looks like the internet went out again. Mike has gone silent. Or is it me? I think it's Michael. Yeah. So, anywho, folks, I know we a little rambled there, But we're here to discuss the 20 through 26 of our Kamen Rider review. And I got to tell you, 100%, it just keeps getting better. As much as you would think, like, wait, this is a show that was around the 70s. Yeah, the show era, as I said, was very much the Wild West. If you're a fan of Godzilla, if you're a fan of Subaraya, they were just pulling like anything and everything could be a kaijin or could be a monster. And these episodes really were kind of like, we had lizards, we've had crocodiles, we've had things that are just shocking of your nightmares. But these guys are the ones that are doing the most damage and actually giving us two-part episodes. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Oh, we went. Huh? Okay. I think I'm all right.
Sorry about that. Yeah,
Okay,
sorry. My
we're
internet, it's really screwed up.
Yeah, we were still recording, right?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Okay, yeah. Because I was talking to our fans while you were gone, and then I saw the time card come up, and I'm like, wait, are we still live? No, we're still live.
We're still live. We're still live.
Okay.
It's
okay. All right. So yeah, I was talking to our fans because I just said that we're here to review 20 through 26 of the Kamen Rider episode. And just how
we got two parters. Yeah, I caught that part.
Two parters of two kaijin that, like, if you were to tell me we've had crabs, we've had bats, we've had just things of your nightmares easily being taken out. But if you're going to tell me that a mushroom and a caterpillar were going to be the two things that got two parters, insert a fish and a flying squirrel.
See, I had totally get the mushroom part because I just finished reading the Grim Grotto, and
mushrooms
like
again are
freaking fungi are very horrifying. If you thought bacteria are scary,
if you want to talk about like The Last of Us, that was a mushroom infection.
Yeah.
Even in the insect world, we have mind-altering cordyceps that
it's like you got moths that like inhale spores of certain mushrooms that cause them to become completely brainwashed and spread more spores onto nearby moth populations. It's like that episode of Justice League with that Battle of the Sexes thing. You know, when you had that rogue Amazon? Yeah, that's basically it.
It's like you would think, oh, hey, there's no freaking way. Yeah, man, it is. Because at this point, the Kamen Rider is just getting his ass kicked every which way to Sunday.
Yeah. Like forget worms that pilot dead spiders like bionic mecha, which is also pretty creepy. Like freaking mushrooms are much creepier because it doesn't have to go inside of other organisms.
Mushrooms and plants have been scientifically documented that they can actually exist within a human body without you even knowing until it starts giving you problems. There was a case back in the 80s when a man who was suffering from, I believe it was respiratory problem. Yeah,
I know this one.
They wound up going in and doing an X-ray, didn't find anything until finally they're like, no, something's up. It's not showing up, but something's up. They go in and they find, well, again, mushrooms, fungus doesn't have to look like a mushroom. They literally find, the reason why they couldn't find anything, it's because the fungi had mimicked or had intercepted into the blood vessels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I remember there was this like fossilized species of cacti where like this one explorer was like raiding a tomb, and the thing is like this cactus was like basically dormant inside the tomb because there was like no water source for it to like feed off of. But then like that explorer got a cut, and one of the cactuses like basically genetic material kind of like, I can't remember if they reproduce asexually or gynospermically, but basically like somehow its genetic material ends up inside the dude's bloodstream because of that cut, like through the dust or something like that. And basically the cactus starts growing inside his blood vessels to the point where like you see like a tiny red cactus sticking out of his arm. But the thing is, there's an even bigger cactus growing inside the arm. That's freaking nasty, man.
It has happened, and still to this day, there are species of plants that are dormant, can stay dormant. You think they're dead. There's a species of tumbleweed that, it gets no water for over 100 years. It gets into a puddle, and it just even the most thimblest of water, and it just starts again.
Mm-hmm.
It literally just bursts and let the spores out, and now it repopulated. So again, plant life, nature is creepy, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I'm not surprised that the mushroom kaijin was obviously the most dangerous of all things that Shocker has made thus far. But
which begs the question: why not just get a bunch of prison inmates, make an army of them?
Because at this point, it's stupid. We'll have to. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there when we review the episode. But Shocker is just stupid because as of right now, the first episode is involving a caterpillar monster.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, cue scientist and hiker going into the mountains by the waterfall. Very beautiful landscape, by the way. And they're like, oh, yeah, I guess they're, what do they call them? Anthropologists or...
Yeah, anthropologists study human civilizations.
Well, no, it's not. I would say biologist, but like a certain type of biologist. Like this guy studies plants and insects. I forget what the name of it is.
Oh, well,
because the thing is that this scientist walks into the forest and starts taking photos of the whole fauna, the plant life, and everything. And he starts noticing like this big blue mass of something crawling around and just moving. And I'm like, not gonna lie, if this is exactly what we think, and yes, he has frozen, so if this is exactly what you think it is, I mean, caterpillars don't grow that big. Like, this is a big red flag, ladies and gentlemen, to see something that big and blue moving around in the brush. So what winds up happening is the scientist winds up becoming like, I guess he gets scared. I would be too, because have you seen caterpillar faces? They're not that cute if you look up close. Apparently, this caterpillar scares the scientist so much that he drops his camera after taking photos and then just, I guess he steps off and throws himself off the waterfall. Like, the kaijin didn't even chase him, didn't do anything. He just kind of fell off and throw the rag doll down, and he's dead. But, of course, no one knows about this yet. You are Kamen Rider and the fabulous Kamen Rider girls that come around because apparently they're out for a bike ride. So, hold on. Okay. So, yeah, Mike is just saying that his internet's crap. He's checking it right now. He will be back. So let us continue on with this review. So, Tachibana, along with Ichimonji and the three Kamen Rider girls, are taking a drive, and they're just, out for a Sunday stroll, as always, because that's what you do. They go and investigate, because why not? They're in some rural little town in the mountains. The girls come upon a school, I guess, of children singing, but it's like I think they're singing the Japanese version of Old Lang Syne as what it sounds like, but it's not. And they themselves are kind of sad because they got to go, and it's like, wait, what's going on? We have to evacuate. We're leaving the town. We're abandoning the town. Why are you abandoning the town? They asked. Because there's a caterpillar monster up in the mountains and it's killing people. People go up to the mountains and they never come back. I would call the Orkin Man, or I would get a really big boot, because that's something you should call the cops or maybe even the Planeteers. Because I'm like, if there's a giant caterpillar monster roaming around the forest and eating people, yeah, I'd say get the hell out of Dodge, but why haven't you called the armed forces to take care of it? You know? Or at least, you know, well, I'm sorry, Fujiwara Sensei, who is the original Kamen Rider, wouldn't be Sagatas until later, the Japanese Chuck Norris. So what winds up happening is the girls go investigate, as always. They just do because they're curious like that. They wind up going up there and they find that, yeah, there is a caterpillar kaijin up there. But apparently at the top of the waterfall, the caterpillar kaijin is like protecting a shocker base, which again, I ask, who is their realtor? Where are they getting these bases and how, what, when, where, and why? For the point is like, why is the caterpillar kaijin doing all this? You might be asking. In all honesty, I don't remember. It's not really said why. He's just there to take over Japan, as always. And here's the thing, though. He attacks with silly string that, just like with any silly string, is poisonous and also can knock people out. Because if it wasn't for Ichimonji interfering as the Kamen Rider to save the girls, they would have been cooked. Also, Tachibana's there for some reason, but he doesn't really do a lot in this episode. Whereas the girls kind of like, you know, help with the Kamen Rider fighting off the grunts. Then Tachibana comes in and saves the day. But the Rider and the Caterpillar Kaijin, shockingly, the Caterpillar Kaijin doesn't really do much in this episode. Like, they fight. They have their basic little fight on top of the waterfall. And the Rider does his kick, which you would think, okay, yeah, he's gonna die. He gets thrown off the cliff, and this is a very, very tall waterfall. Okay, there's no way you're gonna survive this. What winds up happening, he gets the full force of the kick, and then he gets like drop kicked into the water below, jagged rocks, everything. You're thinking he's dead. Out pops up a little white pill. Like, it's literally like this little like ball of cotton, just boop. And I just say, well, we gotta cut costs somewhere. And this little white pill, which is not very little, by the way, kind of strolls down river, and the Kamen Rider sees it, and he's like, I wonder if that's bad. Really? Let's see, a caterpillar, and then comes out a white pill. Well, I've seen plenty of kaiju movies and plenty of Mothra movies to know where this is going, except I don't think we're going to have a musical number to have whatever's in this thing come out. Let's hope not, because we ain't got the time or budget for that. So, yeah, everyone says thank you to the people because, oh, yeah, you saved the town. You got rid of the moth. Thank you. Thank you. Did you really? I don't think you did. Because even so, as the Kamen Rider, as Ichimonji's driving off, he kind of stops, and the hiker who was with the professor, obviously they lament and say sorry for his death, and put a pin in that because it's coming up next. He winds up seeing again the river. This pill is still, and he sees it. Ichimonji sees it, and he's like, I'm not going to burn it. I'm not going to crush it. I'm not going to drag it out and, like, you know, let it be dragged behind my bike for 100 miles. No. He just lets it go. Leaving off with the question mark. It's like, the Caterpillar Kaijin has been defeated. Question mark? But what does this mean, seeing this cocoon going downstream? What does this mean for the future of the Kamen Rider? You're supposed to be the narrator. And I know it's not you who read this or who wrote it, because I'm like, really? Let's see, a caterpillar in a cocoon. That doesn't sound good. No, sirree. Does not sound good at all. Next episode. So, you remember that cocoon we were talking about? You know, that just kind of rolled downhill and we're just waiting. We don't really see it in this episode. What we see is the aftermath of the episode. And the episode goes as this. Had it written down here. God damn it. So let me see here. Let me pull it up right now. Nope. Here we go. So, no. Okay, here we go. So yeah, episode 21, the confrontation of the Mothman. We're going into cryptic territories, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to New Jersey. Or is it New York? I don't know. Where's the Mothman from? I don't know very well. But we're dealing with the Mothman, because that's what apparently this caterpillar cocooned itself to become, is the Mothman. And if you have seen the Shin Kamen Rider movie that was directed by Hideki Anno, this was the last kaijin that we actually confronted, and for good reason, because this is the first of a long line, or out of all the episodes up to this point, that is actually a two-parter dealing with one kaijin. So what happens is, we don't see the cocoon break or it emerge from it. The Mothman already exists. The Mothman is already out and about, causing trouble and making cryptid YouTube videos for later for people to talk about, and then build a statue for him over in New Jersey. He is going around making use of a growth drug that is able to apparently grow his numbers of caterpillar kaijins. So while this thing is a male, it is a male because it talks like a man. Apparently it's using the growth hormones or this growth drug to make its young, or to grow more of them, which I'm like, I don't know too much about the biology of moths, but and we're not gonna get into that whole thing about what can and cannot reproduce. Let's just go with just regular what nature would do. But I don't think a male moth is capable of actually producing young by itself. Who knows? I don't know, because apparently some kaijins are two people, sometimes it's one, maybe three. Who knows? We've seen it done in Poppy Playtime. Why not do it in kaijins? So yes, apparently the Mothman goes and kidnaps a scientist who is developing a growth drug to help it grow an army of moth larval kaijin. And the Kamen Rider is to fight the Mothman. Yeah, this is honestly one of the most infamous and famous of the kaijins, which is the Moth Kaijin. Not only, as I said, was he the main bad guy, or the lead bad guy in the Shocker movie in Shin Kamen Rider, but it's also been referenced in many other Kamen Rider series, even being referenced, I think, in a few riders themselves as bad guys. I think I remember someone saying to me that 01, one of the bad guys, one of the bad riders in 01, has a slight moth motif look to it. Also, I think in Kiba, we've had the Moth Kaijin using different moth. You know, we've had always just some type of moth, and it always just comes back to this guy for some reason, because this is the one of the most notorious ones that we've had. And yeah, notorious he be, because he actually just fucks everything up. He winds up attacking children, women, putting them in hospitals. Hell, he dive bombs a hospital. He actually, do you remember that scene in that Godzilla movie, Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, the Battle for Earth? The part where that ghost Godzilla kind of walks past the hospital after attacking a girl and putting her in said hospital. And you're like, oh my God, she's going to die. And it's like, no. Oh, thank God. And then his tail hits the hospital. Yeah, that's what this moth does. Because you see him fly around so many times, and you're thinking, oh, he's just spying on them. No, he actually throws bombs and is attacking the hospital. He's actually attacking Ichimonji and the girls, along with the random child that is the daughter of the scientist who he kidnapped in order to make this growth formula work. Oh, I missed the part where the scientist has a daughter, and the Mothman tells him that if you don't do this, we're going to kidnap your daughter and kill her. Well, the girls and the little boy in the Tachibana Motor Club decide, you know what, we're going to beat you to it, because they wind up assaulting shocker grunts and taking the little girl before they do. But you see a little boy in drag, because they have to have the bait, obviously. And this is the 70s, so this was used for protection, protection and comedical aspects, because I'm like, yeah, this little boy who I don't really know the name of, and I'm not trying to know his name because he's not going to last very long. Something out of Shin-Chan, really. It's really something out of Shin-Chan. Yeah, so hilarity ensues along with the girls, with this little girl who they're protecting. Apparently, this little girl is very forward in saying she doesn't like boys, and kind of like wrecks this little boy who's with the little brother, because he thinks she's cute, but at the same time, kind of annoyed that he has to be her bodyguard. And what's also crazy is that the setting of this episode takes place, I believe it was near the famous pagoda in Osaka. You know, that famous giant Japanese castle that gets wrecked in every single Ultraman and every single Godzilla movie. King Kong and Godzilla wrecked it how many times? So yeah, because apparently this castle is also a shocker base. Again, who's your realtor? Because as the little girl is like, trying to stay away, trying to keep safe, the girls go off and find them, because it's like, no, we know that Shocker's around because we saw them. And of course, Mari and I believe it's Yuri or it's Michi. I don't remember, because that's the thing. But at this point, Yuri and Michi have cut their hair to the same length at this point, which is crazy, because in the next episode, Yuri has her hair down long again. I'm like, can we keep some consistency here? I can always tell it's Mari, because Mari is more American looking and with the big hair. One is supposed to have short hair, and the other one's supposed to have like a ponytail, but it kind of fluctuates in between the two, so I can't really tell. So for one, Mari and one other go and search for the little girl at the pagoda, but they wind up finding an old man taking photos. And they're like, oh, Sensei, have you seen a little girl with a ribbon? I was like, no, I have not, blah, blah, blah. It's like, maybe Shocker got to her. Maybe we need to protect her more better. And of course, the old man is like, you best protect yourselves, because Shocker's going to get you too. And we're thinking, wait, how do you know Shocker, old man? What do you know? Like, they were ready to fight, only for the old man to take off his bowler hat, glasses, and a fake mustache. Hey!
Yeah,
welcome.
I have to use my phone.
Ain't it the way? We're already on Mothman episode. Me and the folks have just been trying to catch up. I'm at the part where they're at the pagoda.
Yep.
So, as I was saying, So this old man takes off the beard and glasses and everything, and it turns out to be Tachibana Sensei because he's been there the whole time. Because apparently the girls went to Osaka, not really like telling him about it. I'm like, the country.
Ain't that the way? I noticed this is something they always do. Like they're always running off somewhere. Sometimes they kick butt. Sometimes they get in trouble. But when they do get in trouble, Taki and Tachibana get annoyed.
Well, yeah. If you're going off to these exotic locations like Hokkaido or Osaka, I'm like, bro, you're going to Hokkaido, land of crabs and seafood, and you're not taking me? You jerk. You're going to Osaka, famous for their pastries and their udon? You assholes. I'd be pissed. You better bring me back a souvenir. No, not even that.
Absolutely.
Because the thing is that the girls actually, it's Sensei. It's like, what are you doing here? I'm doing reconnaissance because you girls are just out here. And where's the little girl that you had? Oh, don't worry, our little brother's taking care of her. Like, and it's like, but before we go and find him, Sensei, can you take a photo of us in front of this pagoda before two giant monsters come over here and destroy it? Oh yeah. And of course, it's one of those old-timey cameras, put the thing over and then the whole, like, hold the flash.
Exposure, yeah.
And Tachibana caught the first photo of the Mothman.
Yep.
And an actual proof in color. Because, no joke, Mothman just kind of swoops down behind the girls and they're like, yeah. Of course, if you sell that to any tabloid, I'm pretty sure they'll pay you a nice little penny for it.
Yeah. Hey, in Castlevania, Mothman is a rare beast. Like, try getting that soul.
Well, as I said, the Mothman in this episode kind of just appears and disappears, but he's a real asshole. Because again, I think this is probably the first kaijin that we've had that actually shows that he flies. Yeah. Batman didn't really do that. And I'm like, that sucks. But here we have the Mothman, and he's very colorful for a moth. But apparently the whole pagoda is a shocker base, as I've said.
Yep. And
the shocker base is like, the reason why is because, yes, as stated, scientist who created a growth formula is not going to do it. So they have him there. The Kamen Rider must save him because if not, there's going to be an entire army of Mothmen. And of course, the little girl and the little boy get captured because Mari and Yuri, or it could be Michi, are just so inept in terms of taking care of children. They can kick ass on shocker grunts, but to take care of children?
Oh, yeah, no. I love it when Mari pulls either a rapier or a stick and just fights them off. No problem.
Yeah, but you can't look after like an 8-year-old because immediately they get captured and just like, this is what they said you were not supposed to do, Mari.
Yeah. What's funny is that later on they try to lure out the Mothman, and like we even got Goro disguised as the little girl.
I brought that up because they tried to capture the little girl before, but Goro was in drag they already had the little girl. They already caught her that she's safe, but it's like, no, we need to get him out here. Which
but then they kidnap her almost immediately after.
Yeah. What the fuck? What was that about?
Yep.
But at this point, the question must be asked, okay? So you girls are in Osaka. You came here with Ichimonji. You came here for whatever it is, and you guys have still not figured out that Ichimonji is the Kamen Rider.
That's crazy.
Hell, Taki's here too. Which Taki I'm like, knows. Okay. Taki knows. I think Tachibana knows.
They both saw him transform.
Yeah, but the three girls haven't figured it out yet.
They're like helping out the writer.
Yeah. There are so many times that I'm like, wait a minute, you guys go running to Ichimonji and Tachibana more than you guys go running to the cops. So I would have already assumed that you girls already know. But I'm guessing you don't, because as soon as the confrontation with the Mothman and the Kamen Rider happened, they were like, wait, Ichimonji was here. Where's he at? We got to get him out of here. It's like, don't worry about Ichimonji. He can take care of himself.
And then the building explodes. It's like, oh, I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah, and then he just shows up later. And I'm like, again, the Mothman, what exactly is he made of? Because the rider kick was so much that he got launched into a building and literally blew up the facility. Not the pagoda.
And what's funny about Tachibana is that this is a 180 from Kamen Rider X, where it's like, here, he's like, oh, he's definitely fine. He's definitely fine. But then in X, it's like, oh no, Kisuke's dead. And Kisuke's like way over there.
Well, the thing is that, again, this is the first Kamen Rider, so I'm guessing he has more faith in how he was built than he has with other ones, I guess. Because, yeah, I even said that when X was fighting against Apollo.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, oh yeah, Apollo dies, and then he's like, oh, he's dead. But then he's stage left. I'm like, wait, didn't you roll off stage, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't you dead? No. I'm fine. It's just a flesh wound.
Just a flesh wound.
And I'm all right, fine. But I'm guessing the first Kamen Rider, I'm like, dude, you could do anything to the first Kamen Rider, and it's not going to do anything to him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, fine. But man, yeah, this moth really gave Ichimonji a run for its money, not only as a caterpillar larva, but also as the moth itself. Even though his plan was not that great, I'm like, he actually put the Kamen Rider, he actually kicked his ass many a times in this.
The one thing that was weird was he can make cyborg moths from scratch.
That's what I said. I'm like, wait a minute. So you kidnapped this professor to give a growth hormone to these eggs that you have, and because these are like your children, but you're a male. Now, again, I'm not getting into the specifics or whatever. You know, you could talk amongst yourselves about that, but I would assume it's very hard for a male to produce eggs.
Unless you're an African frog.
Yeah, but even so, I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I mean, you're bioengineered, so who am I to say? But yeah, your whole reason was to make more moth larvae so that way they could take over and blah, blah, which is not a crazy idea, but yeah, couldn't Shocker have done that for you? Couldn't Shocker have just done that for you? I mean, why did we need to go through this? Again, not the best
Ironically, it would have been less conspicuous if you didn't kidnap the scientist.
Yeah, you just take the growth formula or just take his research. You didn't need the scientist. You got a whole mess of scientists. So, while this is a very famous kaijin in and of itself, I'm like, at the same time, it's like, strength-wise, yes. Plot and idea-wise, not so much, but I get why. But now we're on the next episode, which
the beach episode.
Which is a fish.
Yeah,
it is.
So Jenna Ortega is a member of Shocker because Olympic swimmers are just dying left and right.
Who isn't dying left and right in this show? Seriously.
Yeah, but how many of them are dying from piranha wounds?
In Japan? Piranhas?
Yep.
You would have been more better saying it was a shark.
Yep. Yeah, this has Jenna Ortega's MO.
Yeah, piranhas. What the? while piranhas are indeed, vicious little bastards when it comes down, they really don't. They're really not vicious.
Yeah.
Unless they're starving and haven't eaten anything in such a long time, that's when, we gotta.
Or if it's
But
an ancient Mesozoic species awakened by a tremor. I'm
yeah,
looking at you, Christopher Lloyd.
yeah. Again, it's like the piranhas only attack, but they only attack things that they know they can take out. And if it's dying, they're more scavengers than they are predators, because people have walked among them. And unless you actually have a fresh cut or something that, makes them go towards you, not really, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it's the beach episode again. We had a crab, now we have a piranha. And what exactly is this piranha? There was 3 of you.
Yeah. No, that was switching cameras. But yeah, so this piranha is just killing Olympic swimmers left and right, including this little girl's older brother, and basically wants to turn them into Shocker soldiers. You know what's interesting is, if you really think about it, every plan from Shocker involves one of 3 things: either A, destroy society; B, recruit new cyborgs; or C, just try to keep random people away from your very conspicuous hideout.
My question is this, okay? If it's so hard for you guys to get like recruits and things like that, then how is it that you have so many people working for you right now?
That's a good question.
Because you
There's
guys
a simple explanation for that.
Yeah, you guys have so many grunts that you're throwing at them like as if they're yesterday's trash. You have so many scientists creating all these abominations against law and order and nature. And yet you're saying, like, we must recruit new people. Recruiting, you're kidnapping them and brainwashing them. Are you telling me that's how majority of the grunts are? They're not people that just believe in the cause of what Shocker does? Or maybe the remnants of the Nazi party that was also allied with Japan and Germany back in the day? Because, again, I would imagine so. Now, as of right now, I'm like kidnapping children and people and trying to make them into, that is diabolical. That is horrible. Because again, it's that added of, in the name of science, we are going to do this to these people against their will.
Yep.
Pretty horrible. But to say that, we need recruits, no. Recruits, what are you talking about, recruits? You're basically getting test subjects. So take that as what you will. I mean, in the next, not the next episode, but in the following episode, the point is made. I'm like, why don't you just do that? Why don't you just do that? That makes more sense. Instead of kidnapping random children and elderly folk to make them into your whatever. But yeah, so apparently this piranha wants to be the best Olympic swimmer in the world. Mm-hmm. So he must destroy the competition. Sounds like something of current events. I won't go into it because that's too much, but you probably can take a guess.
Yeah.
But why? What does the Kamen Rider and the Tachibana Motor Club have to do with this?
Absolutely nothing. Now, Taki might have something to do with this because he's just doing some investigating.
And what does Taki find out?
There might be a Shocker base, especially since Homegirl that he's paired up with gets kidnapped.
Ain't it the way? It's not one of our girls, is it?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't look like it because we see all 3 of them like right there.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm like, look, you girls might be something else, but being kidnapped is not your thing. Being caught, that I believe, but being kidnapped, no. I wouldn't believe that you're like you're like Mio or any of the other girls in the past reviews that we've done that just randomly get caught or kidnapped. No, you girls are very, very like you. It's proven in the mushroom episode. You girls don't go down without a fight. So getting caught, that's one thing, but kidnapped, no. That's why I was kind of scratching my head. I'm like, this isn't one of our three, is it? But I don't think so. But yeah,
I mean, if it was, like, it looks like Yuri. Yeah, but I don't think it's Yuri.
I would be very disappointed if it was Yuri, because apparently he's been kicking ass a lot.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy because and this is something I've been critical of in the last batch of episodes. It's weird that Yuri is the one that stays for the rest of the show, because Mari definitely stands out more than Yuri does.
Oh yeah.
Hera loves her way more than Yuri, and I'm like, so why doesn't Mari get to stay instead, or let them both stay?
Apparently, I looked it up. Miss Linda Yamato, her career as a performer and a music artist kind of sort of peaked around this time. So it wasn't the fact that she didn't want to say, it's more along the lines that, well, better opportunities came up. So it's kind of like, I mean, she left on good note, and she does talk about it fondly about her time on the show, but when opportunity comes knocking, as for Michi, I've not heard anything. I don't know why. But yeah, so beach episode.
How much to this episode, just
I'm like, this episode just kind of like, it's there. It's a beach
episode. There. It's a beach episode. Everyone got to show off their swimsuits.
Yeah. I'm kind of like, there's really nothing much to talk about other than the fact that the piranha just wants to be like the best.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so your whole thing is eating and devouring your competition.
Pretty much. Yep, the obligatory tear up the only other blue eyes white dragon so no one else can use it against you.
Yeah, but also the fact that you're an aquatic merman doesn't really... I mean, you're already technically the best swimmer in the world, humanoid-wise.
Yeah.
So no one else could have really beaten you.
All you have to do is bide your time. You know how many times Shocker could have gotten away with their evil plans if they just stayed low-key, mind their own business, maybe not kidnap someone's relative?
Like a true evil organization would?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it would be like less conspicuous. It's like think about the long game. It's like you're so busy you're so focused on the short term, you don't realize that you're sabotaging yourself. And there's this experiment that's done where you would have two people, they have to there's a row of 20 or 30 cups lined up equidistant from each other, and basically you have to stack all the cups close to the camera and stuff, but one person starts off with all the way at the end.
I want to say it's more of the people they use to be the augmentations to the thing. Because again, it's like in the past with Scorpion Man and Hongo, where it's like, oh, you mean your best? Well, my best friend is you ultimately became a freak of nature because you were tired of being considered by yourself as number 2 in your eyes to Takashi Hongo. You yourself chose to be this thing because you wanted to be the best swimmer in the world. Well, being augmented into a fish man, I would already imagine you were. Now you are. So your reason is really BS, in my opinion. And I'm like, so Shocker gets to take over the world, and you're fine with this because now once they do that, you're going to get X'd out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not the strongest motivation here. Not so much. Which I'm like, that's why I'm like, the Merman episode kind of goes up there with Scorpion Man as like, really, you're a pick-me.
Mm-hmm.
You're a pick-me. That's
Absolutely.
your reason.
Yep.
Oh God, no! Please, no.
Mm-hmm.
At least Mothman had a reason for doing. In fact, our next kaijin has more of a reason for what it does, even though I say this has got to be the most Looney Toony thing I've ever seen in my life. And I've seen Looney Tunes since I was 5 years old.
Hey, I feel like this is Marvel getting revenge for Spider-Man. Because our next monster is a Squirrel Man.
It's a squirrel. You know what? I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, Squirrel, amen." Squirrel Girl apparently is actually been said in the Marvel universe to be the most powerful superhero of all time.
Somehow,
Squirrel Girl, the one who could pick up Thor's hammer, the one who wielded the Infinity Gauntlet without any repercussions. The girl who basically held the power of Galactus. A squirrel. And here it's no other case other than the fact I'm like, man, it must be really warm in that suit because it actually is a plush suit.
it looks way furrier than what we usually see.
And it's got the little membranes. So every time that oh, and by the way, I love how this thing, when it flies, it sounds like a B-19 jet. Just
like it's part of its attack. It's like when it flies, it emits like a sonic boom that concusses its prey.
Someone call Toho. Oh wait, we are at Toho.
Yeah.
Someone call Rodan and say a flying squirrel is taking your shtick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the game plan this time is some scientists developed a new rocket fuel that can emit a blast of a full megaton.
Yeah, apparently just one drop of this stuff is like enough to level at least 5 city blocks.
Yeah. Eat your heart out, Power Rangers.
That's a lot of firepower, people.
Yeah.
Just a drop. Just a drop is enough to do that. Which I'm like, this is gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
This is jet fuel, right?
Basically.
I know you need a lot of thrust and bust to get a rocket to bust through our atmosphere, but gentlemen, I said develop fuel, don't give me the nitro. The nitro is supposed to be when we bust through the atmosphere. You're literally gonna blow up you're gonna bust a hole in the ground before you take off. But apparently, yeah. So Shocker finds out about this, and he's like, "We must send a kaijin. We must send the most competent of our kaijin to take this rocket fuel."
A squirrel.
Bring me the squirrel. You think I'm joking when I say that, and you would rewrite to laugh, but no, they are dead serious. Here comes in a squirrel. When you look at the animal kingdom, we've had some interesting kaijins. We've had interdimensional plant zombies. We've had the evolution of mankind for some fucking reason that also evolves into humanoid animals. We've had quote unquote demons of the stained glass variety.
Mm-hmm.
Never once.
But nothing compares to squirrels.
Yeah. Someone said, let us take the noble squirrel and make him into a killing machine. I would have said a beaver would have been more devastating.
Or a platypus.
Oh, don't even get me started on them platypuses, especially those.
A platypus? Sorry. No, sorry. A platogen?
Yeah, especially those
A
with the
platogen. That's right.
Yeah, especially those with a brown derby. Oh no, it's a fedora. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay. So the squirrel must kidnap or must get the rocket fuel, which, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a man who works with dangerous chemicals, but I at least know enough that the transportation of combustible items is to be handled with such care and persistence. Because even the slightest movement or even the most innate jerk, especially with something that could easily could easily level 5 city blocks.
Yep.
Imagine you carrying a fucking gallon of this stuff. Or in this case, a suitcase worth. A suitcase.
A suitcase.
A suitcase. Not a very crafted protective case. Not something that could withstand and protect the fluid from inside. A fucking suitcase. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
This thing should have blown up 10 minutes ago, but apparently it hasn't. Because that's the whole gimmick with the squirrel. The squirrel is just trying to get the fuel because he wants to, I guess, make bombs and do his B-19 dive bomber shtick just like the Mothman in an earlier episode, but this time blow up major city landmarks. A squirrel.
Yep, squirrel.
Squirrel. I can't emphasize that enough.
It's a squirrel.
Only for the Kamen Rider to fight him and then drop kick him onto said briefcase, which levels half of a mountain. Yeah,
a squirrel.
Have you seen the clip? Well, obviously it's an old one. That episode of Evangelion where one of the angels came down the cube, the fucking cube.
The octahedron one.
Yeah, the octahedron one. And then he does that whole depending, new or old, shoots a laser and it hits the side of the mountain and just half of the mountain just becomes completely just shrapnel. Yeah.
Oh, hell no. 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 Oh, hell no.
Yep.
Yeah, I would not want to be the old man of the mountains at that point.
That was or those little kids singing Old Lang Syne.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm hoping that wasn't that mountain. Really. I really hope it wasn't. Because, damn, they took out half a mountain. But apparently Shocker didn't get the formula, and I don't know if they still have the formula because it kind of just ends right there. That the Shocker plans were like, yeah, your squirrel got blown up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we had a cool scene where Mari is wearing a kimono, and, and I love how, Goro just hands her a wooden stick. It's like, here, I'll take care of it. Yeah, there you go, Mari. You're kicking butts for 2 minutes.
Mari just knows how to hold she's a classy lady, but don't cross her. Don't cross her.
Yep.
But yeah, emphasis more on the squirrel because out of all the kaijin that could possibly exist, and you could do anything. We've seen it. But a squirrel.
Yeah. Oh, I find it funny how Mari, Michi, and Goro try to hold two of the grunts hostage so they could drive the three of them to Shocker's lab, but only for them to reverse that, and now the Shocker mooks got the swords. So so at the end of the episode, when we think Kamen Rider's blown up, it's like oh no, the Kamen Rider, and then Tachibana's like, oh, I'm pretty sure he's all right. But you three, on the other hand, you're always causing troubles. I don't think even he could protect you guys all the time.
Oh yeah, Tachibana totally ripped into them, and I'm like,
Yeah.
but he's fine though. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Ishimonji? Oh, he's back at the shop. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we go into another two-parter.
Yeah.
But this time a well-deserved two-parter.
Yes. This one's actually really interesting. We have a basically, this is JoJo Part 4.
Yeah, I'm like, shocker, how come you don't do this more often?
Yeah.
Legitimately. Like, honestly, of all the things that I mean, if you're so shorthanded on people, why not? I mean,
prisoners, serial killers,
death row inmates.
Yeah.
Really? Like, well, you want to die.
Just give them the deadliest, most poisonous specimens. Turn them into shocker soldiers, and make them team up against the Rider.
Yeah, no, because again, this episode, but I'm putting them as 2, but it's just 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, this, and again, you would think a mushroom, a fungi, literal fungi. Mm-hmm. He, along with the Mothman, gave the Kamen Rider a hell of a run for its money.
Imagine if they teamed up.
Yeah, that would be one deadly combo.
Like seriously, like instead of kidnapping that one dude, like to make the moths like larger, just wait it out. Then later on, recruit the martial guy who, as it turns out, they very exposit that it takes a whole week for him to like bathe in that green sauce in order to become the martial man.
All right, well, I'm not a huge fan personally of the whole 3-week.
That doesn't count because this wasn't a flashback. They actually time skip ahead.
This was in real time.
This was in real time.
They literally said it. It takes about a week for the augmentation to take place, and of course, I'm like, yeah. You're telling me he held his breath for an entire week?
I like you see him manually like rotating himself in the thing.
Yeah, he's kind of just like a washing machine, just kind of get twist and turn in there to come out, and it's just like comes out the Mushroom Man. Mm-hmm. I know that the Nintendo Entertainment System was a thing, the Famicom, but not even Mario would look at this guy and say, "Yeah, he's not one of my people." No.
Yeah, no, he's not one of us.
He's not one of us.
Definitely not you, Seamus. Yeah, so basically, like, he spews out spores that infect people, and they become paralyzed.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Mari, Yuri, and Michi are watching some friends play tennis, who almost immediately get kidnapped. And of course, the trio, like, being the awesome detectives that they are, actually, like, find the Shocker hideout and the truck. They try to rescue them. They kind of fail. Two of them get spored. So naturally, Ichimonji has to rescue them. But hey, they held their own for a brief period of time. You can't blame them for like being paralyzed.
Yeah, but the thing is that again, why are you attacking random civilians and taking them into this? I know this is way before Stranger Danger. Absolutely, it was way before that. But I'm like, why? Only for us to find out that they're supposed to be taken in to be made into other Shocker combatants.
Which again, like, what are your standards? Because you're not being very consistent on this.
Yeah, they're like, what? So anyone will do? Anything will do? I mean, so far, most of your combatants have been, like, supposedly the best of the best that have just had twisted minds or horrible things happen to them. While in this case, you're just taking random children and elderly folks. Mm-hmm. And what exactly are you going to do with them? Make them into rabid creatures? Turn them into shocker grunts? What exactly is the...
Meanwhile, you know who would make really good shocker candidates?
The
Michi,
girls?
Yurien, and Mari.
Yeah, I don't know
Like,
why
they've been kicking so much butt. And the best part is...
Seriously, in this episode, in this 2-part episode, it really shows because, you know, there's a moment in this 2-parter where Tachibana and the girls actually kick ass.
Yeah, it's like if you thought Mari was lethal with a stick, watch her kick butt using a proper rapier. Which we do in this episode. Like, she's in a short skirt and a cowboy hat with a rapier. Imagine Mimi from Digimon with a rapier.
Well, imagine if Mimi was actually capable. That's the thing. I love Mimi, I do, but you know, out of her and Sora, I'm like, no, Sora looks like the one that could have kicked more ass than Mimi could. So, you know. But in this case, the whole 2-part episode just goes as that, you know, so we have this whole like Pied Piper of Hamlet type thing where Shocker says to the Mushroom Man, you need to go and get more people. You need to infect them and blah, blah, blah. They wind up getting kids and telling them, oh, we have a spooky haunted house you should come visit. I'm like, the days when you could just go around and not worry about stranger danger, you know? When kids were actually smart and knew to stay away. Not these kids, though, because they actually do fall for the trap and they get attacked by disgusting spores from the Mushroom Man. And so the Mushroom Man takes these kids, put them in the van, and then takes them to the Shocker base to have them placed on shelves because they must be fermented or something. I don't know. A couple kids survive. They get saved by the girls and get saved by Ichimonji, taken to the hospital where doctors and scientists are trying to figure out what's wrong with them. Well, duh, people, the shaving cream on their faces is not just there for show. They've been infected. They've been paralyzed. And the fact of the matter is that Shocker's like, we need to get these kids back because not to say that our secret is a very well-kept one. It can be cracked. It can be solved if given enough time. So we have to get the kids back. Okay. That makes very much sense. What doesn't make sense is that you made a paralyzing effect that can be reverted just by simple combinations of antibodies and aspirin. Yeah. Again, Shocker scientists don't really get them at times. What winds up happening is that they go at night, try to steal the kids, but of course, Taki and Ichimonji are there. They kick ass. They wind up defeating the mushroom guy, but he winds up running away because he can't take the children right now. He has to wait for the proper time. Time is what they don't have because the scientists and doctors are actually working on it, and they're getting close. They're getting very close. And if they find a way, then the Mushroom Man becomes obsolete. He cannot survive, or Shocker won't allow him to survive. I know. Mm-hmm. I'm at the part where where Mushroom Guy tried to kidnap the kids but failed.
Yep.
And so what winds up going on is that apparently don't trust random mushrooms growing in random pots because mushrooms do not grow. Well, they can grow anywhere, but in a potted plant, that'd be kind of weird that there's just some random mushroom there that apparently Tachibana and the girls are like, I wonder if this is a spying device. And it is, because you hear the Mushroom Man talk from it, calling out Ichimonji, telling him that, hey, you got to, show up at this place. What are you, chicken? Only for Ichimonji to be like, you don't call me chicken.
Yep.
And I'm like, did we not have this bullshit with Marty McFly in 3 movies? Who cares if he calls me chicken? In any case, so he transforms, only for him to get sprayed in the face. And I would think, hey, So if the Kamen Rider can withstand poisons and all this stuff, this should be no problem, right? He should be fine. No. He gets knocked out. He gets poisoned. He gets taken to the mushroom base to get set up in a very 007 type of trap.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's laid on a table with a buzzsaw coming down on him. And I'm just waiting for him to say, "You expect me to talk, random shocker grunt?" "No, Mr. Ryder, I expect you to die."
Mm-hmm.
But he's concussed, so he can't say that, only to be left off on next time on Kamen Rider. And I'm like, wow, we actually did the old cliche of the buzzsaw close to his face and then cutting away. All right.
Yep.
But don't worry, because the Kamen Rider is all right because Taki decided to jump on top of the roof of the truck, very small truck. No one noticed him.
Yep.
I don't know how you don't notice someone on top of the truck, but he saved Ichimonji from getting his head cut off.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, well, here comes the badassery that is Tachibana and the girls of the of the Tachibana Motor Club, because they go and save the kids as the Kamen Rider fights the mushroom guy on top of some random mine shaft or something. It could be an amusement park, right? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you actually get to see the girls in their mastery of fencing, judo, and martial arts, along with Tachibana kicking ass in both of Shocker and Mushroom Grunts.
Mm-hmm.
They wind up saving the kids and getting them away. It's like, yeah, we don't have people like this in Kamen Rider anymore. Everyone's always a save me type of person now. Kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Kind of sad. Like, this was definitely at the time when it's like you didn't need to be in a costume to kick ass and be a hero. You could have just been any normal civilian.
Absolutely.
But yeah. They save the kids, they get out. I believe they have a final confrontation on the very tip top of the mine shaft where the Kamen Rider kicks the mushroom guy and he goes bouncing down like a ball and then just blows up in the mine shaft. How a fungus bounces like that, I do not know, but I'm like, Well, at least you actually got close to killing him and gave the Kamen Rider a run for its money, not only attacking the children and attacking his friends, but also putting him in a life or death situation. Not many kaijin can say that's a thing. But of course, the children are saved. They find a way to revert the paralyzed agents, and now the mushroom guy is considered obsolete because they found a cure for his paralyzation stuff. So, no more mushroom guy. He was pretty good. He was pretty good. You're very good, kid. But because they figured it out, you're no longer needed. So die. Yeah, that sounds about right. That's
the full 2 hour. Sorry, that's the full 2-parter.
Yeah, that's it. Because
like we had a brief moment with the buzzsaw where it's like, oh no, it's like, no, wait, hold up. I want him to be awake for this.
Wow.
Let's heal him. Because I want him to know that I'm about to kill him. I'm like, no.
Kill him already.
No, see, like, you know what made Kakyoin's death so memorable in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? That he didn't know that he was already dead. Omae wa mo shinderu.
Yeah, so it's like, why? I mean, again, it kind of like when you guys have the upper hand, apparently,
why would you give it away? It's like, hey, I'm gonna give Cell a sensu before he fights my son. But instead of just giving him one, sensu bean, you give him the entire bag.
Yeah, that's the thing that just gets me every single time. I'm like, why? I mean, I get why, I do, but at this point, it just
that was your undoing.
That's insulting.
Yeah, that's insulting. It's like for me, it's like even if right now your chances of winning are 99%, and giving your opponent this accommodation would only reduce your chances of success only to 98%. Doesn't matter if it's 98%, you still double your opponent's chances of winning. Granted, it's from 1% to 2%, but that's still doubling their chances of turning the tables.
Yeah. No,
That's a chance I am not willing to take.
No, but apparently the mushroom guy, convicted felon, murderer, and death row inmate, just had to have a conceited moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was his own stupidity that got his undoing. So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, whatever. Now the next episode,
we can get through this quickly.
Yeah.
We are introduced to our next general.
Yeah. Did you forget we had Nazis in this show? Because
Yes.
we did.
Oh boy, I've been waiting for this guy. I wasn't looking forward to it, but I've been waiting for this guy. But you know what? I'm going to go into why I really hate this character next time because we are really short on time. So let's get it out of the way. It's Colonel Zol. This is the guy that Julio from Revice is based on, and it's also who Narutake is truly in that one movie that we're going to have to discuss eventually, but we're not going to do anytime soon.
Yeah, but also we do have another kaijin in this besides the general. And
it's an ant line, basically. There's a bunch of landslides because it's an ant line. Of course, he's going to do that. We've seen ant lines in Naruto. We know what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an ant line in Ultraman that you're about to meet up with.
There's an ant line in Geki Ranger, the movie.
Yeah. So again, not much goes on in this episode other than just the general, and the general apparently the colonel is a master of disguise.
Yeah, it's I love how he's putting some random makeup on, and then it cuts and then it zooms in on that shocker grunt. He's like, and then when it zooms out, it's Taki with an eye patch.
Yeah, no, I'm like, why are you wearing the eye patch then if you have an actual eye?
Because
I was like, oh, he'll probably put in a fake eye or something. No, he has an eye under his eye patch.
And it's not like he put a makeup underneath his eye to make it look like he has one.
Yeah, and also I'm like, yeah, he's evil because compared to Taki, to regular Taki, I don't think Taki has black underline eye makeup.
Yeah. So basically tries to frame him for beating up a bunch of police officers. Mm-hmm. And Taki, who's just trying to be the good boy that he is trying to keep cards from getting inside a sand trap. It's like, hey, police, good thing you're here. Wait, what do you mean I'm under arrest? And he does the right thing. It's listen, I'm gonna prove that I'm innocent by letting the police take me in. And
he struggled though. He was like, no, I'm not going in, but until finally, Taki. Just go with them. If you're innocent, yeah. Yeah,
they try to pull the mask where it's they try to talk to him through the prison bars. And I noticed Goro's special ability is he could break into places.
Yeah. I guess that we need to give this kid something to do because he can't just be the random kid.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, good for you. Good for you. Get the kid something to do because again, we already have 3 hot girls doing up the scenery. We don't need the kid to do that.
So Colonel Zol disguises Taki, talks to Ichimonji, tells him, hey, they released me because there's a lookalike, but they know that it's not me. So they let me out. So how are we gonna trap the ant line dude? It's okay, so here's the plan. Tomorrow we're gonna do this, and that. But then fake Taki tries to implant a bomb inside Ichimonji's motorcycle. It's hey, I gotcha. Wait, what? Yeah, I knew you were fake. How? Because the real Taki's over there. Yeah, did you forget? I worked with the FBI. I used my one phone call to contact Quantico.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, it's one thing if you but again, just Taki, you could have pulled out your badge hey, I'm an FBI. I am above you guys. And if I did do that, again, I would assume the FBI would be like, that's bullshit. We know our operatives. We know our people. He would never do that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, it's a good thing because I'm like, well, You could have done that, but again, you did the right thing, Taki. You kind of like, okay, I know. I don't want to pull out my get out of jail free card now, but I'll have the cops give their moment. I'm like, good for you. You're a good boy.
Yeah. What's it called? So Colonel Zol makes a run for it, and then naturally he fights the monster and kills it very quickly, even using the motorcycle to blow itself up.
Yeah, this Kaijin was not. Well, it's like, you know what? Why even have a Kaijin in the first place in this episode? You had the Colonel show up. That was your bad guy, not the fucking antlion.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, okay, whatever. Whatever.
Yeah, so that's the whole episode. And of course, that means we have a new enemy to contend with. It's Colonel Zol.
It's a Nazi.
Yeah.
We have an actual
Nazi. And I'm going to go more into it next episode because I have a whole speech prepared about this. And that thing I just did with my hand is completely unintentional. Please disregard that.
It wasn't the proper hand, though.
No, it wasn't. But still, you never know. It's like, I just want to be perfectly clear. If I wanted to Shinzo Sagio, I would do it the right way. Just say.
But yeah, those are the episodes, people. 6 episodes, all there.
7.
And I gotta say, except for the piranha, I was very entertained with these episodes.
Yep.
No joke. I was very much entertained because I'm like, wow, we actually are giving more thought into the Kaijins at this episode. And finally, the stakes have been risen because now we have an actual Nazi showing up. Shocker is not messing around anymore, or so they say. Again, we'll see how that goes. So I would say for me, removing the merman, keep the squirrel and the Nazi, I would say I had fun with these episodes. I give them an 8.
Yeah, I would give these episodes 8, 8, 6, 8, 9, 9, 8, because the two-parters were actually really good. The squirrel one, not as good, but still entertaining.
It was entertaining. It was entertaining to see the squirrel one, but the merman episode was just.
It was the weak one out. It had no purpose.
It had no purpose. I was just like, another pick me. Here we go.
Yeah.
So you could skip that one, but that's what I say. It's an 8 through and through.
So we got comments from both YouTube and on Twitch, and for some reason, because my internet went out, the Twitch comments aren't showing up on StreamYard. So I have to actually go onto Twitch itself and read them manually, so you guys won't see them appear on screen like you normally would. So please bear with me. So I'm going to go through the YouTube comments first. Triple O Tracy, I can't stand Colonel Zol. Neither can I.
Apparently, everyone hates the Colonel.
Yep. Anyone but him. Absolutely. I'll take Dr. Shinigami over this guy. Ambassador Hell. Hell, I'll even take the great leader himself. But not Colonel Zol. Yep. But hey, we got a two parts. Yeah. Those were the best 2 parts.
Those were the best ones so far.
Yeah. Mari's still best girl. Absolutely.
She is best girl.
Yeah. Go Kaiju was good, but it wasn't Dawn Brothers good. Ooh, those are fighting words. Not that I don't agree with you, but
it depends on who says it, though. But I'm like, I don't know. I've not seen Dawn Brothers, but at the same time, I'm like the hype over Go Kaiju. It can mellow out just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a smidge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. A squirrel.
Yeah. A total squirrel.
Yeah. Kabuto, not again. I'm guessing this is while I was
the internet was cutting in and out.
Yeah. I'm really sorry about that, guys. Okay, moving on to the stream to the Twitch comments. By the way, thank you guys for sticking around, and I apologize that your comments are not appearing on the screen. Nemesis Rider 0 says, imagine Shocker taking over Formula 1.
That's why they're not showing any episodes today, because Shocker decided not to.
Yeah. I wish I could go to Japan for vacation now. Hey, you always can.
You always can. Just be respectful of the culture.
John Wick fan _M says it's a shame that Kabuto is out of action, but Steve is pretty cool. Think of it as Kabuto fighting Shocker in Europe while Steve got it in Japan. Fight on, Steve.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Maybe next week, maybe a few weeks from now, like you will be off screen, so like I'll be like there while you're off in Africa fighting Shocker, just like in the show. Okay, Nemesis Rider, we need to lower standards for cyborgs. We could call it No Kaijin Left Behind.
I'm assuming he's talking about the mushroom episode, which I'm like, yeah, that just random people are being hijacked and taken for. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
Nemesis Rider continues, Squirrel.
Yeah, squirrel.
Yeah, and then
squirrel.
And then finishing off, Nemesis Rider says, Mari and her kimono, hard eyes, hard eyes, hard eyes, hard eyes, hard eyes, hard eyes.
Look, did you guys go look up Linda Yamato? Have you? Like, no, look her up.
She looks really good, even for 78.
He's almost 80. And I'm like,
good.
God damn it, woman. Like, wow. I'm like, Jesus. I mean, you were a knockout in this show, but here I'm like, wow. Mm-hmm. And still going strong. I'm like, all right, you go.
Almighty knockout. But yeah, that's it for the comments, guys. We hope you enjoyed. We're sorry about the technical difficulties. Please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and on Twitch. Please ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos, and please be sure to share our videos because it helps us out with said algorithms. On Mondays, we do Ultraman Classic. On Sundays, we do Kamen Rider Classic. Typically on Wednesdays, we do Kamen Rider Goblin. On Thursday, we do #1 Sentai Go Junior. But this week, Formula 1 took over, so we're going to have both sets of the originals take over instead. So that means we're getting a lot more Kamen Rider. It's surprising that we're already a quarter way into the season. We're just powering through it. Mm-hmm. We'll get through it. And of course, please check out our Morphicon interviews. There'll be more uploaded very soon. Check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show. And if you want to follow our personal content, where can the people find you?
Just on IG on the Sin Prince. Thank you so much, everyone, for your comments and your support. I'm always loving hearing from you guys.
Yeah, and you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto, where you can watch these live streams as well. Thank you, everyone who actually did show up on Twitch, as well as everyone on Facebook and on YouTube. And again, one more time, we're sorry about the technical difficulties. Steve, thank you so much for holding down the fort solo. While I was trying to fix the internet. I'm gonna try to get specialists, try to come up with a permanent solution. I'm really sorry to everyone, but we hope to see you again real soon. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update your emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and we'll see you again real soon. Goodbye.
Good night, guys.